and then Han was here. So when I actually caught his vocal, I was really impressed. So I was asking him, so what is your role? Main singer? And then he said, no, I'm a rapper. I'm like, what?
My name is Anne. I'm a top liner and lyricist in Dsign Music.
Yeah, my name is Ronny. I'm a producer with Dsign Music. And
my name is Nermin. I'm basic producer, top liner in Dsign Music.
We are based in Trondheim, but we see ourselves as world citizens when it comes to music. We started in 2007 and we have a wonderful colleague in Korea.
Hey, my name is Jin. I live in Seoul, part of Dsign Music, and I'm also producer, and I'm really good at clicking mouse.
Well, we started back in 2008. Our publisher at the time introduced us to K-pop. We didn't know so much about it, and he played us a song actually from BoA, Eat You Up. And we thought, wow, this is really cool. This is something we can do. And so we started focusing on that. By the next year, we had our first huge #1 with the Girls' Generation's Genie in Southeast Asia, which was a big deal for us. And we have loved working with it ever since. It's like our main market that we work in. And
I was actually a professor, but then when I decided to be a musician and then quitting my job, I was invited to the song camp that the Design and Norwegian organization, or the government actually established, called a Song Expo. So that was 10 years ago. I went there, and then the rest become the history. I mean, many of our songs, like Design songs, have been collaborated with the artists themselves, as they are actually writing their lyrics on top of our songs. Here in my room, actually, the song that was released just now with the Stray Kids. So in that sofa recliner, Han from Stray Kids was actually sitting there and then writing lyrics while I was just working here, putting some strings. So sometimes the artists actually come to my place and then just hang out and, drinking coffees and having meals, and we work. Then sometimes I go to the company and they work there. That's why I try to listen to what they want to say about music, how they want, what they want. Then I can provide structure and formalize their idea into something tangible. There was one case, Seung Woo from Victon. I helped him release his debut album. One song that I did with him, it was just solely me and him. And then we actually did 8-hour recording session from the get-go. So he did every harmonies and everything from the scratch. And then I did the tunings and every time, like at the spot. So he loved it because the way we actually proceed the recording session was very different from how they did it with the song and how the normal recording session was processed.
We had some fun with Amber from Take That Brass. When we did that song, she was heavily involved in writing actually, because but that was fun. That was one of the sessions where she was involved from the beginning to the end.
And I also had the pleasure of vocal directing Girls' Generation when they recorded the English version of I Got a Boy. That was really cool. That was a big moment for me, get to meet all the girls and coach them while we were recording. Well, writing Queendom was really cool. We were just like 4 girls in a room, wanting to write a girl power song, and it turned out like that. And it's so fun to see now, like all of the dance challenge and like how the message really has reached the fans. And I just got a taste recently of how global K-pop is, because there's a dance troupe in Trondheim, our hometown, that's made a dance cover of Queendom in the streets of Trondheim. And you work with Stray Kids.
I mean, that song was actually written almost 2 years ago. I was requested by JYP A&R that they are looking for those type of approach. So I catered the track first. They really liked it. I forwarded the track to them. And while doing that, they actually asked Han to also write the top lines. The A&R actually really liked both. But then we just trying to find the right structure for the top lines and everything. When I actually finalized all the edit, and then Han was here, I was doing extra works. He was writing lyrics. Then he cut the vocal. So I was like, wow, he's a really great singer. Like, he can sing and he can rap.
How many edits?
And then when I actually cut his vocal, I was really impressed. So I was asking him, so what is your role? Main singer? And then he said, no, I'm a rapper. I'm like, what? He could hit the high C, I think, as in a vocal. And then he has a really solid like articulation in the note, and also very strong voice, very so I was really impressed. I was really happy. Year and several months later, they wanted to include that song in this album, and the song is called The Secret. And then I get to meet all the members, and I heard that now it's sold over 1.1 million, which is the highest selling album in JYP history. So I was really happy, and I feel really proud of them to achieve that monumental achievement.
For me, it's the exciting mix of genres that can be in just one song. You know, it can go from one style and then in the middle of the song just switch up to another genre. And sometimes you see from 9 members up to, you know, over 20 members in one group, and that usually affects the way the structure of the song is, because for every artist, every member of the group needs a part in the song where they can shine. Right off the bat, like visually and how the song structure usually is, it differs from the rest.
You can say that the K-pop music and culture is influencing the rest of the world because it's spreading. I think it
goes both ways. In a way.
It goes both ways. I think it's because it's the globalization of everything getting closer. But we should really hope that it doesn't turn into the same thing, because we need that diversity.
Yeah.
I mean, as Korean, if I actually look at how the trend and how the changes that the K-pop has made, I think it's becoming less quirkier, because sometimes they needed some kind of a more quirkiness or more conceptualized song, rather than the proper song that you can actually listen to during the very late night or very early morning. I think also the label wants to have a more listenable songs, so that they can actually, everyone can put into the playlist and then just put it on the repeat, so that it doesn't really stick out, but still it is actually a great song to listen to.
The process is usually get a brief from the record company. A brief is a list of the artists that are looking for songs and what kind of songs they are looking for. Usually they come with reference tracks, and then we sit down and Ronny and Jin build a track, and we start creating melodies and specially design it for that artist.
I mean, now because of pandemic, of course, nobody has been traveling anywhere for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So last year and a half, we haven't been moving. I mean, we've been stuck in Trondheim and doing stuff online. But before that time, we've been traveling as much as we can. And Jin was coming to Norway as much as we can. And we would be on the road for probably a couple of months a year. A natural thing was to travel to Korea and work with the SM. And
it could take everything from a few hours to days. Depending on if they like the song and there's something with the song they like to change, then you have to go in again and do some rewrites to it.
Sometimes you hit it right out the bat, and sometimes you actually need to go back and rework some part. You know, the artist says, no, I don't want a rap here, I want a melody instead. Or like, I want an extra B hook after the chorus. Then you have to kind of like restructure and go back and make it right.
There was actually one song that I did 27 revisions up until the release. The last revision was actually done probably 6 hours prior to the release. So they actually set the mastering parameter as the same. It's just a small revision that I've done. And then they go through the mastering, bounce it, and then send it to the digital streaming service right away. There was actually like one crazy example. I was just so stressed out. Okay, what else then? What else then? Are they gonna say yes or no? It was no. Like every time you have to do this then.
Social media keeps you motivated, because everyone who's in your field they post their releases and you think, oh, they got that single. Oh, I need to go and, to the studio and write something amazing too.
It's hard to keep inspiration all the time going, or motivation, but we have done it now for, I don't know, almost 20 years. I mean, Dsign 17, 18, I think for me, that's inspiring because a lot of people have done this for 5 years and then they stop because it's really hard to do what we do on daily basis for 20 years. So I have to say, like, you just have to dig deep and do the work.
In general, the people around you, right?
Yeah.
But also getting inspired by meeting new people to write.
Yeah.
Kind of keep
fresh blood, a fresh point of view.
I think it is also starting with that one placement, and for the rookies and for the newcomer, they are always wanting for that one song. I want to have that one song moment. But then I think it started from there. You have to continue to have the number of songs that you actually can pursue your dream as a songwriter and producer, because it needs a perseverance, it needs disciplines, and it is a very difficult world to compete with all these amazingly talented people out there. It's not like keeping you motivated. I think you have to force yourself feel motivated and energized, because otherwise you are just out of the game right away in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and of course you have to have the inner drive to it. If that's not, if you're in the music business to make money, it's not going to happen. You have to love music, and you have to have that drive,
passion.
So the passion.
Well, there's many small milestones. Everything from your first cut, to seeing that music video, receiving the first check, being at the Grammys, being nominated. There's so many things. Probably most important that you made it as a songwriter is this is your job. You can get to do it every day.
For me, it's like a personal, very small moment several years ago. At that time, I was taking my kids to some of the city. We were just walking, and then when I actually listened to my song coming out from the store, and then we were actually dancing on the street together, and then the next door, and then they played the same song, and then we danced together. So it was continuously we could have danced together with my song coming out from all these different stores on the same street. So I feel like, wow, I made it at the time.
Wow, I think that it's just gonna keep growing, to be honest. I just saw a series called Dave, where it's like there's a one complete episode dedicated to K-pop. CL from To Anyone was in it, and it's just like it's already it's influencing fashion, how people make music videos, because K-pop has really set the bar when it comes to really cool music videos.
I think it's gonna, if we talk about next 10 years, I think it's gonna be interesting to see. I think it can go both ways, everything goes in circles, because you have other cultures, other things happening in the world that can influence that whole thing.
I think the K-pop is equally about the whole culture. We can consider talking about music, and music will change. How I see it is kind of an alternative or an option to the Western culture, and it presents itself very clearly as long as they can keep the whole movement and the culture a bit divided from what we're used to. I think it will continue to grow.
Yeah, same.
Maybe K from K-pop becomes a silent consonant, so that it's like a bracket K, bracket pop, so that it is also part of the pop rather than categorized as a K-pop.
There's 60,000 songs released every day on Spotify. If my son wanted to start doing music, I would ask him to become a doctor or something else. Because I think, first of all, I don't want to have anybody who's competing with me. But it's not going to come easy. Nothing is going to come easy. And it's easier today than when we started, because we didn't know much about it. The world is 15 years ago now. You can connect with everybody now. So I think young people starting now, they have the platform that we kind of helped build. But still, you have to have the attitude, and you have to work hard. I think working hard and putting down the hours, the talent just takes you 10%.
Yeah.
Everything else is hard work.
Yeah.
But I think I would advise anyone who starts with this now is to get acquainted with different types of music.
Yeah.
Go back, listen, get a good foundation of
different styles,
the musical understanding. So you have more stuff to pull from when you're kind of creating your own sound.
And also, you know, work on finding your voice, work on your uniqueness, find your niche, and work at it.
And I would also say find a team.
Yeah.
Find the people like we have done and work in team, because that's gonna make your life easier. Doing it alone, it's not going to happen. That's what we do it with each other. We've been honest with each other. We've been fighting a lot and helping each other to become better.
Yeah, I think we can just sum up all this comment. You have to balance your creativity and your objectivity. As a songwriter, as a producer, you are actually catering the songs to the certain projects, certain artists, the companies, that you have to understand what they want, how they think, and you know what kind of things they are looking for at that moment. So the communication itself is very important between you and the clients or the companies or the artists. But still, without the creativity and without the passion of what you're making, then you know there's nothing that you can actually feel proud of presenting to the company, right? So I think it is just all balance between creativity and objectivity.